continues to cause major disruption to thousands of lives.
My doctor described it as, you've got an invisible broken leg that nobody can see, but your medication is at the top of a 10-story building and the lift is broken. Good luck with that.
Back in October, we told you how increased global demand and manufacturing issues meant the shortage could last until December. But now people like Lorelei Mathias from Brighton have learned it could go on into April.
For people that clinically can't do admin, we're asked to do things that require extreme executive functioning, which is what we don't have in spades. We have poor memory, poor ability to prioritise, set reminders. We lose things all the time.
Lorelei is on the phone with me now. Lorelei, good morning. Hi.
Good morning. Hello.
How are you doing this morning? All right.
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Pretty good, Tar. Just, if you wouldn't mind, just tell us about your ADHD and when that was diagnosed, and what's it like day to day for you?
So it was a bit of a long-winded process getting diagnosed. Mid-20s, it kind of got diagnosed, but then they lost my paperwork and I had to fight to get a diagnosis again in my mid-20s because back then they were very keen to classify it as anxiety or depression, and you're kind of just left feeling a bit gaslighted in a way, thinking this is just my brain functioning is different. It's not that I'm depressed or anxious. So it's a long process to get diagnosed. For me, it's like living with more of a prefrontal vortex than a prefrontal cortex, because it's just kind of chaos inside my brain all the time. I liken it to having no air traffic control center. So you've got a brain that's constantly full of thought airplanes crashing into each other all the time. And what the medication does is help give you an active functioning project manager in your brain that can kind of help you sift through your thoughts and focus on one thing at a time. So without the medication, it's very hard doing a day-to-day life. And I think it's important to say lots of neurotypical people relate to the symptoms of losing things and not having good temporal awareness or poor focus, but and that's great, everyone can relate, but what we have is a debilitating degree that is life-changing, and I have friends that are housebound and committed to hospital without their medication now. It really is life and death. It's not just, I'm a little bit ADD.
Right, yeah, okay, which is easy to say, but very difficult to live with. Tell us about the medication situation, Lorelei. Has this been a constant supply for you, and what's happened in the last few months?
I should say that it's taken me a couple of years to get stable. I mean, it's no magic wand medication. Yeah. You have to do a lot of other stuff with it, but I did get stable on one regime that I'm on now after a year of having to wean off because my last one got taken off the market completely. Zyban that I was on, was unavailable. So that I'm now in the last few months going to the pharmacy just to get my repeat prescription. And it's a bit of a crystal maze admin zone every time. You can only request your repeat every month. So that has to go into the patient portal. And then you have to then ring the chemist to say, I've got a prescription coming in. Do you have any in stock? They say, I don't think so. You go in person. They say, oh no, we haven't got any of that. We can't put it on order. And you say to your GP, it seems like it's gone off the market. And they're like, no, there's loads left. It's a constant back and forth between the pharmacy and your GP, and it's not being in stock. And you don't know whether it's been discontinued or it's actually just out of stock. And this is what I'm saying needs to change. This process is completely maddening for someone with executive dysfunction. So I mean, for instance, in your case, you have ADHD, you have a diagnosis, you have a prescription. The fact that needs to be renewed every month seems way more work than it should be. So perhaps that's in the future. Job. Part-time jobs make just getting your medication. Perhaps in the future, that could just come to your door, couldn't it? I don't know. That would be an absolute dream, Danny.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Okay, maybe that's one.
When I could sign for it, because it's a controlled drug, so I understand. I understand, the caution, but it's far too extreme. The caution,
right.
It's
Okay, because it's prescribed to you, it should be easily available for you. So what's happened with the supply of the drug at the moment?
So there's theories that they've switched to more of a print on demand, so to speak. So it's people have to order it according to demand, whereas they used to have loads in stock. So that's been one factor. But another is obviously lots more people being diagnosed, which is good. People are getting the help they need, but it's also meant that because this process is designed for people with executive function, the people that have it very, very severely are not now getting the medication. Only the people that have what I would call kind of a recreational degree of ADD, like they have a few tabs open, but we have a million tabs open on every computer at one time with an iPad. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's what your brain feels like. But if you have it that badly, it's absolutely a serious disability, and that's what I can't stress enough, is those people now aren't getting their medication.
Sure, which has real world consequences for you. And it sounds like there's sort of one manufacturer who produces most of this medication. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. And I actually was driven to such madness by my chemist saying, we don't know if it's been discontinued or not. I rung my GP, I rung everyone. No one could tell me. I rung GlaxoSmithKline because I was like, I just need answers. There's nowhere online. There's no way to find out where the pharmacy stocks are. There's literally no line of communication, and that's madness.
So you were saying that, for a year you've been pretty stable because you found the right sort of mix of medication for you that helps you. Have you got any in stock now?
Threat again.
Have you got any at all at the moment?
Yeah, I have, but I'm rationing. So the one there's two different types. There's one that I can just take only when I need it, which isn't ideal at all. But if I've got, some really taxing mental stuff like being on a train, not losing all my possessions, which genuinely happens. I can't get off a train without someone saying, excuse me, is this your scarf? Or, losing ridiculous things all the time. It's called the ADD tax, but that's a big thing. If I'm going out and about, I have to take something like that. But daily, I take another one that if I was to stop that suddenly, would be really bad. I would be, in bed recovering.
So that'd be like going cold turkey.
One that's in short supply. Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's they're saying maybe discontinued, and then so I need to know whether I've got to change drug again. But no one can tell me. So it's
Okay. Listen, thank you for setting out a lot of that, Lorelei. But I mean, you're an actor, comedian, and you also did a comedy series about life in ADHD. Just can we explore that thought of kind of laughing at a condition that you have no control over? Is that a good coping mechanism for you?
Absolutely. It's been our lifeline. So I created a comedy channel called Meloncomedy.com about 5 years ago now, and we've been making comedy about everything that's slightly melancholy or a bit crazy in modern life. And for me, I've tried everything that is prescribed on the NHS, but the strongest, most powerful remedy we've found is comedy, and being able to laugh at the ridiculous situations I get into. Like